Welcome back to Think 10, where we explore the most fascinating facts and trends shaping our world. Today, we're diving into something close to our hearts and our stomachs. From your morning coffee to the sweet treat you sneak in the afternoon, climate change is threatening some of the most beloved foods on the planet. Here are 10 delicious foods we might lose due to climate change. At number 10, tomatoes. They're a staple in countless dishes around the world. Think pasta sauces, soups, salads, and sandwiches. But tomatoes are sensitive to heat and require stable weather to thrive. Climate change is bringing more extreme weather patterns, including droughts and heavy rainfall, which stress the plants and reduce their yields. Warmer conditions also invite more pests and plant diseases, meaning tomato farmers are having a harder time producing the volumes we're used to. This could lead to shortages and rising prices in the not-so-distant future. Number 9 is maple syrup. The process of making real maple syrup relies on a delicate balance of freezing nights and warmer days during early spring. This triggers sap flow in maple trees. However, rising global temperatures are shortening or even eliminating these crucial freeze-thaw cycles. As winters become milder, the sap either flows too early or not at all, threatening the maple syrup industry in the northeastern United States and Canada. If climate trends continue, we could see a drastic drop in natural syrup production. Coming in at number 8 is honey. But the bigger concern here is bees. Honeybees are not only vital for making honey, they're essential pollinators for dozens of crops, including fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Changing weather patterns, pesticide exposure, and habitat loss are pushing bee populations into decline. Without bees, honey production falls, and so does the production of many other foods we take for granted. The loss of bees would be a massive blow to both biodiversity and agriculture. Number 7 is rice. Rice feeds over half of the world's population. But it's incredibly water-intensive and sensitive to environmental changes. More frequent flooding, saltwater intrusion from rising sea levels, and drought conditions are threatening rice paddies in key producing regions like Southeast Asia. Moreover, higher carbon dioxide levels may reduce the nutritional value of rice by decreasing its protein, iron, and zinc content. That means even if rice continues to grow, it may not nourish us the same way. At number 6, bananas. These fruits are found in lunchboxes, smoothies, and breakfast tables around the world. But banana crops are increasingly under threat from Panama disease, a soil fungus that is spreading faster due to warming and wetter climates. Most commercial bananas are of the Cavendish variety, which is genetically identical worldwide, making them especially vulnerable. Without genetic diversity, once the disease takes hold, it's nearly impossible to stop. At number 5, seafood. Oceans are warming, becoming more acidic, and losing oxygen, conditions that are devastating for marine life. Coral reefs, which support a quarter of marine species, are bleaching and dying. Fish like salmon are struggling to spawn in overheated rivers, and shellfish such as oysters and clams are finding it harder to form shells in more acidic waters. As fish migrate to cooler zones, fisheries are collapsing, and coastal communities that depend on them are at risk. Number 4 is wine grapes. The flavor of wine depends heavily on where and how grapes are grown. But wine grapes are extremely sensitive to temperature, rainfall, and sunlight. As global temperatures rise, traditional wine regions are seeing grapes ripen faster, which can alter their sugar and acid balance and dramatically change wine quality. Some vineyards are relocating to cooler areas, but others may be forced to shut down altogether if climate patterns continue to shift. At number 3, avocados. They've become a symbol of modern health trends, especially in salads and toast. But growing avocados takes a tremendous amount of water, up to 70 gallons for a single fruit. With droughts becoming more frequent in key growing regions like California and central Mexico, avocado farming is becoming increasingly unsustainable. farmers may be forced to scale back production, making avocados rarer and more expensive. Number 2 is chocolate. Cocoa trees grow in a narrow strip around the equator and need very specific conditions to thrive. Unfortunately, those conditions are becoming harder to maintain. Rising temperatures and reduced rainfall in West Africa, where the majority of cocoa is grown, are putting immense stress on crops. Diseases are also spreading more easily in these changing climates. As cocoa yields fall, chocolate could become harder to produce and far more expensive for consumers. And finally, number 1, coffee. Coffee is one of the most consumed beverages in the world, but Arabica beans, which make up the majority of global coffee production, are highly sensitive to temperature changes. Warmer weather encourages the spread of coffee leaf rust and pests like the coffee borer beetle. At the same time, areas suitable for growing high-quality coffee are shrinking. Without cooler mountain climates, coffee farms may be forced to move to higher elevations, which aren't always available. If nothing changes, we could lose up to half of the world's coffee-growing regions by 2050. These foods aren't just tasty treats, they're deeply woven into our cultures, economies, and daily routines. But climate change is rewriting the rules of agriculture, threatening the future of the foods we love most. If we don't act on emissions, sustainability, and protecting ecosystems, we risk turning these everyday delights into rare luxuries. Thanks for watching Think 10. If you enjoyed this countdown, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more eye-opening lists. Which of these foods would you miss the most? Let us know in the comments below.